Another nugget from MLB.com's Mark Bowman and Mark Feinstein, also from MLB.com, discusses Hurston Waldrep. A lot of teams have reportedly called on the 2023 first-round pick who made his MLB debut this year, and the Braves aren't necessarily interested in fielding those calls. Some even, they didn't want to call him necessarily untouchable. They're like, he's right next to that category. And here's what I have to say about that. Nobody, absolutely no prospect should be untouchable on this Atlanta Braves list. There's nothing that Hurston Waldrep has shown. He still has to develop a third pitch if he's going to be a starting pitcher. Right now, he's probably best suited for the bullpen. I love Hurston Waldrep. I've gotten on this show saying, I love Hurston Waldrep. Watch out for Hurston Waldrep. I mean, I've been banging the drum for Hurston Waldrep, and I think he's going to be a very fine MLB piece. But the reality of the Braves situation is, free agency is inflated. It might be very, very difficult to go out there and get a top guy with the funds that we have available. And this is a team that's coming off 3 straight, very disappointing seasons in the middle of their championship window. Yeah. If the right offer comes, you can be tight with them. But if the right offer, and it's like Garrett Crochet, and they're saying, we need Hurston Waldrep, are you really hanging on to Hurston Waldrep? If you're talking about that's going to swing that deal, that's going to make them pull the trigger. I just have a hard time believing that that's the case.
I tend, it's better just to give Anthopoulos the benefit of the doubt in these situations.
Well,
he holds and holds on to players and gives away players. Like the only one, at least since 2020, since the World Series, that has really, is an obvious blemish on his resume is William Contreras, which was another nugget that Bowman dropped, that the Braves traded William Contreras because pitchers didn't want to pitch to him. Now he goes to Milwaukee, who can develop catchers. They're known for developing catchers defensively. He's one of the best catchers defensively, one of the best catchers in baseball. So that's another nugget.
I'm saying that even fines on, because just because they're rejecting deals for Hurston Waldrep does not mean he's untouchable. Even them suggesting that he's untouchable is really what I'm disagreeing with. Like, I don't think Alex Anthopoulos.
He's a highly coveted prospect, and he would trade him straight up for Garrett Crochet 7 days out of the week.
Yeah. Well,
I get your point. That's an extreme example.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I don't even think
nobody is untouchable.
Just because they're saying no to Hurston Waldrep from what's happened so far. Yeah, I'm sure like this early in the offseason, someone's like, hey, you want this crappy player? And I'll take Hurston Waldrep. And they're like, no. I'm sure that happens all the time, especially this early in the offseason. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Hurston Waldrep is untouchable or anywhere close to untouchable if we're talking about some of the top guys that are on the market. So
proven commodities will always win out. It's better to think of these. I say it all the time. It's better to think of these guys as just trade chips. Don't even learn their names. That way it's easier just to ship them out of here.
Especially pitchers.
Yeah.
Like I've said this a million times.
Even when they come and have a ton of success.
The only pitcher that has come up through the Braves farm system, and we had the #1 farm system, and we had like 30 arms come through the system that has had sustained success over the entire length of his Braves career is Max Fried. You're telling me a pitcher is untouchable in trade talks? There's 0% chance that that's true. Like, that's all I'm saying. I do not believe that for an instant. Now, is he highly coveted? I do believe that. Like I said, I pound the table for Hurston Waldrep. This is no disrespect. I'm just saying, you're telling me a pitcher that has never really made any kind of impact at the major league level.
And the box score isn't like, oh, wow, we got to keep this guy.
Great prospect. Nobody is untouchable, especially a pitching prospect. I think that's absurd. That wraps up our show for this evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back with you tomorrow.